Hola. Hello again. Hola. Welcome to YONICHAT. Welcome to YONICHAT. I have another great episode for you guys, along with the ladies and Ferrin. So join us as we talk about sex, assessing our sex, and the men really get an eye-opening experience listening to women talk about their yoni and what they would like for their yonis themselves in their lovemaking. So listen up, take notes. This doesn't relate to you. I don't care. Don't be all up in my comments. Enjoy. Jersey?
Because that's gonna be my question.
Yeah, question is gonna be... Jersey behind the camera says yes.
Yes. And he broke my heart. So
but did he make good love? That's the question. Yeah. Is there a difference, generally speaking? Because I'm sure brothers could be a significant letdown and heartbreakers, users, abusers. I come from nigga culture. I come from where you exploit everything that you can get from a woman. You take it, you know. So I know that aspect is there. But absent that, just sexually speaking, do brothers have it?
I think so. I think some.
Some? So more than
yes,
less?
I think some. You're right. Because nothing is absolute. Yeah. There's always going to be within honest, any culture, within any race, there's going to be.
But have you been with men of other races?
Definitely.
And so relative to that, what is your experience? What's your way?
Honestly,
are brothers winning or are brothers losing?
And
sexually speaking, not
sexually. Honestly, it's hard because each individual is different.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? So
but
it's hard for me to say.
I'm just mean generally.
Generally, I would say.
Do brothers have a flow? Do brothers have a rhythm? Do brothers have an ingredient that generally comes through?
I think so, because the brothers I have sex with, I would have to say those are like the best. I don't know. Sex I've had.
We have a repeat customer, Jersey, over here.
I would say yes, but in some areas, no. It's hard. For me, that's a hard one.
Okay.
It's a hard question.
And it's also she has a diverse. She's dated
I've
a lot of
like
other
every
races.
race you can think of. Not to say I'm a hoe or anything, but you
know.
No.
Here. What is hoe? There's three persons.
No. And let me say something to that real fast. And that's one of the things that, again, as a man and just, you know, we hold you guys so accountable for your sexuality. Even when you were talking about the situation where you kind of had to learn through that, like, okay, I haven't had sex for a while. I want it. So I did it, and it was going through the experience that I learned that, oh, okay, I'm not even that kind of person. We're allowed to make, as human beings, we're allowed to make mistakes. And more than you guys, we make mistakes. And especially sexually, you know, I just came to that conclusion, like, that's hypocrisy. If I cannot point at a woman and knowing you ain't had half the sex that I had. I know you can get more sex than I have, because I know it's this simple. I know if I try to go, it's hard for a man to get some pussy. It's difficult. I gotta put in work to get that. To solicit any woman out of that, I have to put in work. But for a woman, you can walk up to any man and be like, hey nigga, what's up? You ready? Yeah. And it's good. So it shows who's really the hoe. The hoe is not the woman, the hoe is the man. The man is the hoe. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at myself as a man. I appreciate women. I see women of every flavor all the time. Like, oh, it's very difficult. It's actually very difficult for a man. It's crises. It's a challenge. It's like, fuck. We're prone to, you know, every woman. So it's difficult. But I said it to say, so for men, for the men that's paying attention, if they're paying attention, nah, bro. You can't. You'd be a hypocrite to be upset at a woman for her sexuality, for experiencing her sexuality. And the reality is that we're way more quick than you guys are to have sex. We'll take almost any opportunity that's given to us. And we probably have had way more sex and way more whole kind of sex than you guys have had. So I say that to say, don't never, ever, not ever again be like, I'm not a hoe, because it's not even a thought.
Yeah, hoe's not even a concept.
And you know what I feel like? I feel like probably more than less, we've let you down. So if you have to move from man to man to man, that's because every single man that you're interacting with, we're failing you over and over and over again.
If one of them was a good partner, you would have had less, right?
I would have stayed. I mean, honestly, I have being with different races, different guys. But I think for my age and the amount of men I could have had sex with, I could have had sex with a trillion guys. But because I think women, we're just certain way.
Yeah.
I feel like the numbers are a hell of a lot less than what a man my age would have had.
We have, a bit more criteria,
And
like
if
emotional
we had-
connection.
And if we had every
Yeah.
opportunity that you've had, if I asked a man, how many times have you had the opportunity to get some pussy and you didn't take it? 9 times out of 10, we took it. It don't even. It's just there. It's an opportunity. We take it. So as many times as you've had it, for women in general, and to not take it, that's the real discipline. That's the real commitment. To me, that reveals who's the real hoe.
Right.
Man is the real hoe. But I'm not mad at that. So let me clarify that. I'm not mad at that. I just think that also for men, we're taught something in this culture. We're taught extreme monogamy, and I think that that's a very hard standard to place on a man, especially in a culture that's hypersexual. We live in a society that promotes sex. And I think that becomes in a society where you guys have to be extra competitive, extra sexy. So now you guys are competing for our attention, and that makes it hard because you look so good and you look so good and you look so good.
And they want you to pick one.
Yeah, but I have to have this candy bar, and you can eat this one, and you can't eat another one
for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life, that's your candy, and that's it.
And then you guys are conditioned to think that about us. So then we lie to you. We say, okay, yeah, I found my candy. Here it is. I'm gonna eat M&Ms for the rest of my life. And M&Ms, will you open up for me? Like, yeah, I'll open up for you if you convince me that it's just me and you don't like, what are those over there?
Twizzlers.
Twizzlers.
I love Twizzlers.
I like Twizzlers. I love Twizzlers, but I love M&Ms too. And I feel like I got the M&M craving, but I might satisfy that and want Twizzlers too.
Right.
So I lie.
Why you gotta settle for one, right, in your head?
And I think it's very difficult. And I'd ask that question: do you guys experience that as women?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
All women do not want one partner. I think monogamy is definitely something learned, like a societal behavior.
I disagree.
But I also think it's
You
in
think
some of us
monogamy is
naturally.
natural?
Maybe a lot of us are
I
prone
don't know
to.
about natural, but it's definitely something that, for me personally, I'm happy and comfortable with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it something that you demand over the man? And your happiness, and I agree with you. I think that women are more prone to monogamy, especially if they're fulfilled by a man.
Yeah.
I think the woman feels like, I'm good.
Like one good one is
I'm
enough.
good,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I don't need anything else.
I'm
I don't have
good.
to look anywhere else.
Yeah.
But I think with man, generally, I know that I've met a couple men in my life that I could tell that they're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the reverse situation has occurred almost more than it's so narrow where the woman in turn, I see she's not really in the same way he's in, and she may kind of want out of the relationship, and I've experienced that. I mean, there's been the very rare occasion when I've seen, like, what you say, like a soulmate, like
Together, you're
it's
on
them.
the same page, and you want the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You both want the same thing.
Yeah.
And you're in.
There's no game. There's no
Yeah.
guessing. There's just,
I think that's the main issue, has always been one or the other. One person's in it for the long haul, the other one isn't quite there.
Just not compatible.
Or thinks they are, but realizes along the way, oh, no, this is not for me. I want more candy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I end up getting left being that candy that's sitting in, under the couch. Squished in between the couch.
The wrapper's
sitting
half
there
open.
waiting to be picked up and opened again.
So let me ask you a real question. So if a man, right, if he had his M&Ms, right, and he had his Twizzler, right, and he took a bite of this and took a bite of this, could you deal?
No, with him taking bites
can't
of
do
all
it.
that candy, no.
And I think
I cannot.
And I think that's so my suggestion for a woman in this time, in this culture, because it's a different one. I think maybe back in the day, and I don't think that was a great culture either. I think where men, maybe they were not, I don't know. But when they had the more traditional family structure, the man went to work, the woman was home, and maybe they were more monogamous. The church only approved missionary style positions. If you were maybe Catholic or Christian and practicing that, and as you only had sex that one way, there was probably not a lot of kinkiness.
Back then, sex was just to have kids.
Yeah.
Right.
It
Procreation.
wasn't to have a
Yeah.
good time like it is now.
Like, think about how old they were when they got married. They were young.
They were young.
They were literally on the brink of having their periods, meaning that they were ready to get impregnated. You know.
And I think that's understandable because we were all probably were young when we started, and I think that's what they understood. They said marry them while they're young because they're gonna have that. But I think that then there's a negative reaction to that too.
I think it's because like you think about like the culture that has shifted since then, the education that has happened since then, like how women would have to get these unhealthy abortions and like really like she just couldn't have this child, you know, or like there would just be like so many of these like child laborers, and you would just be like, where did these, like, why do we have to endure these women through so much? And yet like we think that we continue to treat them in this way too. And I feel like it's definitely progressed since then. Like we're giving women the right to like justify their own body when they want to have babies, you know, and we're giving them birth control. We're letting them handle that. And on the upper hand of it too, we're doing things with population, like we're handling population so well because of those things, you know, like because we're giving women the liberated mindset of that, and we're educating them to that, and when they can have these healthy babies, and when they can like where they have to worry about like really thinking about when they need to have this child or when they're prepared to have this child.
Empowering them with choice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And to think about like in China, like women can only have 2 children, and that's it. So you're just kind of like, you're kind of stumped, you know, into thinking that your whole life you're either going to be prepared now or you know, who knows when. And to think about like, if you connect with someone so well and you can only have 2 children with them, you know?
Yeah, it's limiting. I think it's all comes down to freedom.
Can I ask
We all
another
want more
question?
freedom.
I'm sorry.
Okay, after that, we have to get to our next question.
Okay, now I'm done.
You done?
Okay.
What are we gonna ask? Maybe we fit
He
it
was
in later.
finishing his Twizzlers instead of his M&Ms, you guys. That's the answer.
All right, but we'll probably come full circle with it now. So we're gonna get to the last questions about just sex in general. So I want to ask a question really quick about how long you guys your sex sessions usually last, and if you feel satisfied with that. So is it too long, too short? You feel good with the amount of time that your sex lasts? Give me quick answers.
Like 20 to 25 minutes.
Ooh. That's better than average. That's better than average, yeah.
What's the average?
The average is 2 to 7 minutes.
You're kidding
More towards
me.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
more towards 5 minutes for average sex. Yeah, and that's, you know, that's average. So you have a lot of people on that scale that are 30 seconds to 3 minutes, right? And that could be a long 3 minutes for somebody, like, you know, right? And
Well, the
yeah,
best 3 minutes of
the
their
best 3
life.
minutes of your life. It's a 3-minute roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
So what about your average time?
I feel like it's kind of like to think that to share the experience that I've made a video with someone, you know, and to think about like how long that video lasted. It was just like, it was 16 minutes long, but it was a personal thing, you know, and I'm just like, wow. And to think about even after that, we were like, wow, like, do you want to go into more? And to think about like waking up at like 5 in the morning, it's just like, hey, like.
Oh, so you guys are going?
Yeah.
Like in like shifts kind of thing?
Yeah, like
Those
a
are
shift, definitely.
great.
Shifts are good.
Like,
Get some
Nicki
water,
Minaj,
right?
yeah.
Get some water, some snacks.
Like Nicki Minaj has that song where he's like,
Okay, so let's just finish the times. What is your average time for intercourse?
Average about 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay, and
I
Priscilla.
feel like when I was in a relationship, because that lasted for 3 years, so we really got comfortable.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that lasted way longer than many of my, like, after, like, being single and dating.
Yeah,
So, like, those would go on for, I don't know, like, 15, 20, or however much longer.
yeah, and this is the full session, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, the, you know,
it's
shifts or whatever you
Shifts,
want to call
yeah.
it. We'll do it again later. But recently, like, the last time, it was, like, I don't know, like, 10 minutes, and it was, like, just not happening for me.
Yeah.
And
That
I
was a
just-
lack of connection, right?
It was a lack
Yeah.
of connection. It was
Yeah.
a lack of passion, and it's like, like, I don't know. I think you mentioned this earlier, where like a man can be very passionate in person, or like their personality can be that way. But if it doesn't reciprocate in the bedroom, like, I'm not gonna be wasting my time. And
Yeah.
that's basically what I did. I was like, I'm
Nah.
sorry, like, I'm not gonna settle for this.
And so, what do you guys think about
Congratulations,
like?
that's good.
Thank you.
Yes, right. That is like anytime you have awareness of like, you know what, that wasn't good for me. I don't want to do that again. Like that's a celebration.
Yeah.
Like fuck the fact that you just did it. Like don't
Yeah.
dwell on that because you did it. Like
Uh-huh.
whatever, let it go.
Yeah.
like what did you learn from this? Okay, I don't like
Exactly.
that.
That's great.
That's beautiful.
That's
Go
growth
with
right
that.
there.
Yeah. So always remember that. And so, what would you guys feel about being with a man who was able to have orgasms and keep going? Like, has anybody ever experienced that here?
What has an orgasm and then afterwards
Keeps
keeps going.
Keeps going.
As in doesn't stop.
He
at
does
all.
not stop. He's still
Okay, now
hard.
I've never ever.
As a
exper-
rock.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced that. There's always,
No?
you know, the break in between.
And then like,
Yeah. And I have to be like, okay, I have to build myself back up again during the break. So no, I've never.
you do have to build
experienced
yourself
that.
back up, huh?
You really do.
I didn't
because
realize that.
It totally kills the whole vibe.
It does.
Like,
It
you know,
does. I forgot about
and
that.
then what
So
are
you
your
can't hold it.
surroundings and you're just like, I can't look.
Yeah, and then when he comes back, you're
We're not
like,
in the moment anymore.
Yeah.
and then it also depends on the way that he allows the moment to go.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. If your dick is getting soft, that's not a bad thing. You can do other things besides use your dick inside a vagina.
Yeah.
You don't have to
but
get all
that's the
awkward and be like,
thing.
oh, like, being just with my ass cheeks. Like, that's not even necessary. This shit makes me dry up. Like, so.
So are you saying that you guys didn't come during the first session?
That's
No,
the thing.
that's
Like,
exactly what
that's
we're
what we're saying. Like,
Yeah.
basically, he'll come.
It was,
before
okay, it
us.
might have been like
And then,
5 minutes, though. That's what you
Has
gotta
the
remember.
first session been good and then you break
No.
and then
First
You go-
session's a warm-up.
Well, not good for
That's
us.
the thing.
That's-
That you said it right.
First session's a warm-up.
Always a warm up.
You
Like,
didn't, yeah.
I feel like for myself, I don't know about other women, but that first moment, you're still getting there.
how long
Yeah.
does the
By
first
the
moment
time you've actually kind
how
of
long does the first moment usually last, the first session that you don't bust?
it will be like maybe even 15 minutes.
Let me tell you, okay, so
It'll take a
usually the
while.
first
it
phase,
takes a while.
If you know your way
Yeah.
around it, it's gonna
Yeah.
just until it happens.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, you guys are giving me insight into my performance because
Yeah.
I don't watch men perform.
yeah.
Right.
I see pornography. I can't tell if it's real or fake.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
that's out.
But yeah, so there's cycles of arousal, right? So the first phase of arousal is excitement. That's when you're just like hot and bothered and
Yeah.
shit, right? Everything's really
You're just
exciting.
enjoying the everything.
Yeah, the
about it.
fire,
Yeah.
the newness.
And to some degree, you don't even want to get there quickly. You just wanna
Exactly.
enjoy it.
So for a guy that has
Right.
no control over his arousal and that doesn't have any control over his ejaculation, in those three minutes, which that cycle usually lasts for like 1 to 3 minutes, he'll bust.
Yeah.
Right? Because he doesn't have no control over it. So imagine a guy that has control over it, that excitement can build,
Mhm.
and then he can build with you instead of like getting there and then just going losing control
Yeah.
and not being able
Yeah.
to keep riding with you. Like, we want somebody to keep riding with us. And that first phase of arousal is excitement, and if it's not cultivated the right way for women, if we don't feel that spark,
Yeah.
then it plateaus.
Just goes-
It plateaus. And so while we're plateauing, the dude has busted. And that's a lot of situations. Not every time, of course, but that's a very common situation. And that's why, we have a lot of instances of not being satisfied because we got excited, yeah, and we make it out and stuff. And then, like, before we can keep getting excited, like, he's already finished. And we're just like, okay.
And it goes,
Yeah.
That's
And it goes, wee.
Yeah,
So
wee.
when a man can have an orgasm and stay hard and keep going, like, that shit is magic.
Yeah.
And that's something that, like, I feel like I didn't know that I needed until I got it. Like, the first time I had sex was like tantric sex-ish was for 3 hours. And I cried during the sex because it was so
So good.
attentive and good. And he like ate my pussy, and I was like, nobody's ever eaten my pussy and liked it like that. And I didn't know that I deserved all that. It was a whole emotional experience during the sex, and I let it all loose. But like, that taught me, like, yo, like, once I cross this threshold, I can't go back to basic shit. Like, I can't just be like the two
You've
pump
been
wonders.
spoiled now, so
Yeah.
you need to maintain those standards.
I do, yeah. And that
Yeah.
for me too, like, as a woman that practices tantra and has these like more fuller experiences of sex than I used to, like, I need a man that can keep up. Like, you have to be able to last longer enough for me. You have to be able to stay present. Because if you're lasting long and just pumping me dry, I can feel the difference. Like, it disconnects emotionally. There's no emotional connection when you can just last long mechanically. You have to be able to last long with her staying connected, staying present. Like, you guys are both riding together. But we felt the difference when a guy's just like
Yeah.
Alcohol,
Like a
alcohol.
rabbit.
Yeah, whiskey dick. It's a borderline whiskey dick. So a borderline whiskey dick will give you a guy that can last forever because he's not feeling shit, but he can keep going, and he won't come. So you're over here like, okay, like you're either gonna get the lube or you're gonna just like keel over. So that's that happens a lot of times. So for me, it's important to like it's quality, not quantity. Like if we're gonna do this, like stay present, feel it. And the moment that I don't feel it, and I have to learn to do this, is I stop it, and it's not even a big deal. Like, you know what? Why are you feeling it? Or I'll just like put my leg up and push you off. I don't give a fuck. Like it's my pussy. If I want you to get out of it, you're gonna get out of it. And that's something that I kind of had to take back for myself because I would just lay there and I would just be like, you know what?
That's a good lesson for a man.
It's right. It's for a man to be in the presence of a woman that will take back her pussy and be like, you know what? No, you're not getting any of this tonight. The scene is not right.
He'll be like, wait, hold on, I'm not done yet. What did you do? You say, welcome to the club.
Exactly. It's not about you. It's not about you busting a nut. Like it's about us. And if one of us is out of sync, then it's not gonna happen.
I'm not happy.
You're not happy. You're not gonna be happy either, and you shouldn't be.
A man should come back like, you know what? I need that run back because I feel like I failed, and I need to show that I'm not a failure.
So it's like you have to prove it.
It's a prove it.
Yeah, prove it. Not like no.
And you know what? It has to be a man that cares enough to prove it.
Yeah.
Because a man that won't, he'll leave.
Keep going.
A man that he's with it, he'll be like, all right, hold on.
Okay. And I have noticed that, especially in the men that I've been working with, and like even men that I've been meeting, like
hold on, you know what I like? Let me pause you real fast. You know what I like what you just said right now?
What?
And I don't want to overgloss it. You said the men that I have been working with. Did you mean, you didn't literally mean like employment? You meant like sexually and intimately interacting with?
All of them.
Hold on, but let's clarify that because you know what did you mean? What do you mean?
I mean the men that I've been working with in my life. Like, it's the YONICHAT. So what do you guys think about that? I hope that episode opened some eyes to a different way of doing it. Look forward to the next episode. Until then, leave with love. It's my yoni, my sacred space, my yoni. You can't replace my yoni. No price tag on my yoni. Welcome to YONICHAT. Welcome to YONICHAT. YONICHAT. Okay, well that wasn't gonna go over well anyways. YONICHAT. Nothing matters with YONICHAT. Like,